There once was a man, known not for his wisdom, but for his pride. He had everything: fame, wealth, and a sharp intellect that could silence any debate. But with each victory, his heart grew heavier, his words louder, his peace quieter. This is the story of that man, and how he became the monk who sold his ego. He was a man of the world, respected, admired, and feared. Pause. But behind his confident smile lived a deep exhaustion. Every conversation was a battle. Every interaction, a comparison. Every moment, a need to prove. Until one day, after a particularly bitter argument with someone he loved, he looked in the mirror, and for the first time, he saw not success, but loneliness. His victories hadn't brought peace, his knowledge hadn't brought clarity, and his pride, it had built walls so high, even he couldn't climb them anymore. So he did something unthinkable. He walked away from the world, from recognition, from his name. He traveled east to the mountains, where the noise of the world faded and only silence remained. There he met a monk, old, silent, and smiling like the mountain itself. The monk did not ask his name. He did not ask his past. Instead, he offered him a broom. "Clean here," he said gently. And so, the man who once sat on panels and stages now swept leaves from stone. At first, his ego resisted. "I am made for more than this," he thought. But the monk simply smiled. "Yes," he said, "much more. Once you become less." Days turned into weeks. Silence replaced arguments. Stillness replaced restlessness. And in that silence, he began to see clearly. One day, frustrated, he asked the monk, "Why do you not teach me anything?" "I came here for wisdom." The monk paused, then pointed to a cup overflowing with tea. "You are like this cup," he said, "full of your own opinions, titles, and importance. Until you empty it, nothing more can enter." And that day he understood. To learn, he had to unlearn. To grow, he had to shrink. To be wise, he had to stop needing to be right. He started observing, not to judge, but to understand. He listened, not to respond, but to feel. He watched a young novice make a mistake. Instead of scolding him, the monk said, "The mountain never tells the river how to flow. It simply stands still and lets it learn its way." That too was a lesson. Pride commands, wisdom observes. Months passed. One day the monk handed him a scroll. On it were just 3 words: "Let go now." He looked up. "Let go of what?" The monk smiled. "Your need to be seen, your fear of being wrong, your desire to always be someone." He realized then, ego isn't just arrogance, it's also insecurity, dressed in armor. It's the need to win every conversation, to prove worth, to constantly seek validation. That evening, he climbed to the top of the mountain, alone. He sat in the silence of stars and whispered, "I am enough," without the noise. "I am seen, even in stillness. I am loved, even when I let go." And with that, he wept, not from sadness, but release. He didn't become better, he became lighter. He no longer needed to be right, just to be real. He stayed in the monastery, not because he couldn't return, but because he had already arrived. So now, whenever someone asks about him, the villagers say, "He's the monk who sold his ego and found peace instead." We spend so much of life trying to become someone, but maybe peace begins when we're finally willing to be no one for a while. So the next time your ego whispers, show them who you are. Gently remind yourself, I already know who I am. I don't need to prove it, because the strongest people are those who have nothing to prove. If this story touched you, take a moment to reflect. Then share it with someone who might be holding on too tightly. And if you're ready to let go, subscribe, stay a while, and walk with us on this path of mindful living.